This ongoing surge, 7 Eyewitness News is answering your questions.
Tonight, we're trying to help you out with filing for unemployment, also the restrictions for businesses and the current testing challenges.
7 Eyewitness News reporter Hannah Bueller leads us off.
An orange zone designation for much of Erie County means restaurants, bars, barbershops, and salons find themselves right back where they were during the first wave of the pandemic. But Darlene writes, what about casinos? Do they have to close? What about movie theaters, bowling alleys? This is a question 7 Eyewitness News has been trying to get an answer to all day. Under the new state cluster zone guidelines, any business with a state liquor license must close at 10 p.m. The Seneca casinos operate under their own guidelines and say they're working on a plan. But as of right now, the only alcohol service at the casinos has been with sit-down dining. And the Senecas say there hasn't been sit-down dining since the 13th of this month. Movie theaters we talked to say they've had no guidance other than their reopening guidelines, up to 25% capacity and no more than 50 people in front of each screen at once. And it appears bowling alleys can continue to stay open. However, with 50% occupancy, every other lane closed, and no more than 10 people per party.
They have to follow prescriptions with regards to the amount of people on a lane and so forth. You can't have more than 10 per gathering. If you were going to have a birthday party with 25 people at a bowling alley, you can't do that.
However, as of tomorrow, there will be no indoor dining allowed in an orange zone, so bowling alleys in most of Erie County will not be allowed to offer food. A spokesperson for Kenmore Lanes tells us it will be closing voluntarily for a couple of weeks while this all gets sorted out. Pam from Amherst writes, in an orange zone, are dog groomers still going to be open? Yes, the Erie County Health Department says dog groomers will remain open under the orange zone designation, as those businesses are not listed in the restrictions from New York State for microcluster designations. Lastly, as family and household transmission remains high, Maria from West Seneca asks, if one person tests positive in a house of 3, how long does everyone need to quarantine?
So the 14-day quarantine is the time frame where if you're going to become symptomatic, you'll develop symptoms. It's also possible that you may be asymptomatic. And so until those 14 days are up, you need to avoid interactions with others.
Dr. Thomas Russo from the University at Buffalo says each member of the household should stay away from the infected person, but the entire household should quarantine at least 14 days. This means even if a member of the household has tested negative, it doesn't necessarily mean they are.
Erie County leaders urge everyone to stay home right now and say these restrictions could get even worse if the virus is not contained. Reporting in Buffalo, Hannah Bueller, 7 Eyewitness News.